Please make yourself comfortable to change your mind and change the way you feel with your conductor, Paul Clough, and the Personal Development Unplugged Orchestra.
Hey, here's a quick heads up. The heads up is, this is quite interesting, and it's all about shoes, and it's all about pebbles. And it's what you do with your pebble and how you get it out of your shoe, which really makes no sense at all, but have a little listen. I think you might find it, well, I think you'll find it pleasantly enjoying, or enjoyable, that's better. Pleasantly enjoyable. So enjoy. Hi, and welcome to the PDU, the Personal Development Unplugged podcast that's created just for you to make your life a better life. Personal development, self-improvement. Because I think that this genre has been made so complicated these days. Don't know why, I've got my thoughts, but I've now got the aim to break these complicated processes and techniques down into their simple steps. The simple steps that we can now use to create the life that we want, and for you to begin to exceed your potential, knowing your potential is unlimited. Wow, that's a big one. And, well, who am I? I'm Paul Clough. I'm a hypnotherapist, a hypnotist. I'm a trainer of NLP and hypnosis, and I just love helping people with their minds to improve, let go of the stuff you don't want, negative emotions and anxiety and things like that, and access all the things you do want, such as confidence, self-esteem, all the things that you need to create the life that you want, and enjoy it, because that's what we're here for, isn't it? And when you're enjoying it, you'll follow your vision, you'll have your missions, and follow your pathway, find your passions. So if that's for you, you're in the right place. And also know that if this is your first time, there's a lot of past episodes. So if you go through, you'll find a wealth, I think, of golden nuggets that will help you really be the person you're meant to be. So do enjoy that. And if you wish, well, you can always subscribe and you'll get these podcasts two every week. Wow. So enjoy. Personal development, unplugged. Hey now, imagine this, and if you can close your eyes, you can close your eyes, but you don't need to, because this is something that we've all experienced. So imagine you're walking around, and as you're walking around, in that shoe, that right one, just that little bit uncomfortable. It's like there's a stone in there. But it's not a stone, it's like a tiny little pebble. And the more you walk, the more you can keep feeling it. You try to ignore it, but the only thing doesn't go away. And then you do that funny walk, where as you walk, you flick your foot out and try to move it around. Try to get it out the way without dealing with it, and you become that shaker walker. And it's still there. I still think it's still there. We do that walk, we hop around, and it's only after a stupid amount of time that you finally sit down, take that shoe off, and you go, there it is, shake it around, tip your shoe up in the air, and there it drops down. And you've dealt with it. You put your shoe on and you go, it feels so comfortable. And off you walk. Oh, dear. Now, those niggles that you have in real life? And they keep on being there as well. And I know we all try to ignore them. We do, don't we? We try to ignore those. And the things that it's like that little niggle, maybe we get it in a feeling in our body. It's like that intuition that just niggles away at us saying, or what is it saying? That's the thing. Because I think that niggle is there because it's like your unconscious mind trying to tell you something, and you're just simply not listening. You're trying to push it away. You're trying to go through life kicking it like that funny hoppy walk. And you see, I've got a couple of examples of my own I was thinking about. One was the podcast I did a little while ago about, preparing for death. And as I was talking and recording it to start off with, it just didn't feel right. But I carried on, and it still didn't feel right. And I did my little flappy walk, and I carried on until I got to the point where I just stopped talking. And I've never done that. And I suddenly just said, well, what's going on here? And like a little voice inside me says, this isn't right. You don't believe this. This is not what you want to be talking about. And I thought to myself, it's damn right. And I just hit the delete button. But on hitting that delete button, I got this thought about a new way of looking at preparing for the future, preparing for success. Bucket lists for a day, a week, a month, a year. So that came out of me not ignoring. But I did try. I did try to ignore that niggle, that pebble. And then it made me think a little deeper. I thought, where else? Because I like to give examples. And I know at one time when I used to work with clients, a little bit new, a little bit naive in experience, that I knew what processes I was going to do, what questions I was going to ask, way before they came in the room. I'd read the email, I knew their problem, and I knew what processes would work. And then after a while, it was like a niggle would come in, a little pebble in my shoe, about asking a particular question. And sometimes I tried to ignore it, knowing that, well, if I ask that, I'm going away from my preconceived thoughts about this. Until one day it really got me. And it was like my unconscious mind just stopped everything. And I had this little voice in my head. This was not the unconscious voice, this is my conscious, internal dialogue said, go on then, Paul, what are you going to do now? Because you haven't got a clue, have you? And I thought to myself, I'm smiling at the client as they're talking, thinking, no, I really don't know what to do. But in that second, having admitted to myself in some way that I didn't know what to do, it was like my unconscious mind said, look, try this question. I've been trying to get it to you. And I would the words just came out of my mouth, the question. And it was if a light switch or a switch had been switched on in my client. And how did you know that? And all of a sudden the whole of that session changed and the client got exactly what they came to me for. Resolution, a new way of being, getting rid of all the old rubbish and getting on with their life. So ever since, I've learnt from that by thinking, well, I don't want that pebble in my shoe when I'm working with clients. So I go in with an open mind. And as I go with an open mind, I'm thinking, well, I don't even think this is a problem. If it is, it is, but maybe there's something else. What's causing this? What's below the surface? And as I do that and I let questions come out from somewhere, they always just seem to be the right question at the right time with the right words. And it's as if I've got a target that I can hit each and every time. So I've learned now from that first little pebble that actually shut my brain off for a second or two of how to do things. And now I've got a belief around that, a belief in I'm going to be asking the right questions. I don't know what they are now, but I know they're going to come. And I know that this client is magnificent in front of me and they're going to change. They're going to get their result. But what I also believe is they're going to get a result better than they could ever believe themselves. And normally they do. So, what's all this leading up to, Paul? Well, funny you should ask, because this is the type of bit where we do the how. What happens if you've got a niggle? What happens if you've got this metaphorical stone in your shoe? Well, I think what you ought to do, I think what you could do, you could just take some time out. We talk about, taking some time for ourselves, some pausing, some times to think a little deeper, deep work, consideration. And I think you should do that. Because if you just listen to what's going on inside, because something's going inside to give you that metaphorical pebble in your shoe, that niggle. And if you listen with all your senses, remember, sight, sound, feelings, smells, tastes, the whole myriad of senses, and just notice what's happening. You may, as you do that, just ask, what do you want for me? What are you trying to have me realize? What are you trying to have me understand? What am I not seeing? What am I missing? That if I saw it or became aware of it, would allow me to do things differently. Now, when you ask yourself questions like that and wait with, guess who? Old Jenny Journal, you'll suddenly get some answers. I know you will. And then, because you're getting answers, you can then start thinking, well, maybe this is still the right direction. But now, taking account of what's coming up into my mind, maybe I can do some mitigation. Maybe I can find a different way. The only advice I'd say is don't wait too long. Because he who waits, guess what? Yep, you waited. That's not the best joke in the world, is it? But that's where procrastination sits in. And then we've got a whole other field of getting over procrastination. But, think, if this is, you've come up with a solution to a problem, but you've still got that niggle about the solution, maybe you just need to, again, take some time out and be quiet and listen, and maybe ask a question, what else could I consider? What haven't I thought of that would make the answer even better? You might want to check, is that feeling coming from fear, anxiety? Is it real? If it is fear, where's that fear coming from? Is it because you're hearing other people's words telling you that it's not the right thing to do? And are they? Then you can consider whether they're justified or not. Or is it from previous experiences? Which is great because it's your unconscious mind protecting you to keep you safe. But you can also look at other events in your life where you have succeeded. And then notice the difference. One is what are the fears? And then what were the successes? How could you cope and change the fears into that success? Sometimes you might even find that niggle is actually just pure excitement. Those butterflies, because sometimes we all just have to have butterflies. And then when we do what we do, we find out it's the best thing on earth. But that's only just a little warning to say, be prepared. So maybe you just have to ask your question, what else do I need to prepare so I can be safe and succeed? And have fun in the process. Always the best bit at the end of that question. Set your intention. Set your beliefs. So your intention is, you want to find a solution. You want this to disappear. You want the best result. You may just tune into the belief. There's always a way. I'll find the way. I'm good. Sometimes you have to make sure that niggle isn't because you're coming from a place of scarcity. And in fact, when you look around, there's abundance everywhere. So all you need to notice is, where's the abundance? And that scarcity mindset will start to disappear. Are you going towards your goal? Or is it because you're slightly off track and you've missed in all the excitement, the direction you're going? And it's just your unconscious mind saying, hey, back on course, matey. Might be as simple as that. So I think, having a niggle, as much as we try to ignore it, much as we walk with that flappy foot, it's not going to go away. It'll just keep getting sorer and sorer. But if you do take notice of all the things that you want, and take notice of that feeling, asking your unconscious mind, you're now starting getting aligned to the solution, aligned to your success. Because that's what it's all about, isn't it? When you are aligned, all your behaviors will be positive towards that as well. You'll be congruent in every way, shape or form. Your pictures in your mind will be supported by that little self-talk. The state of which you're in, the emotional state you're in, will be aligned to success. Your physical body will be pumping around all the right chemicals to give you the energy that you need. And therefore the behaviors will be totally aligned in where you want to go. All because you took the time to listen. Because, if you had a best friend who kept tapping you on the shoulder, you're about to do something, and you got this wonderful best friend beside you saying, just tapping you on the shoulder, tap, tap, tap. Hey, just a minute, tap, tap, tap. Now, if you respected your best friend, wouldn't you just say, oh, yeah, tell me what you're trying to tell me. I know you're doing it for my best interests. Well, that's what you have now. If you didn't know before, you've got a best friend inside. It's your unconscious mind. It's there to protect you, to keep you safe, store all your memories, allow you to be so creative, to access all the resources you'll ever need, all the emotions you'll ever need, all the wonderful, positive, empowering beliefs you'll ever need. They're all there. So just ask your best friend the right questions. And between the two of you, you are going to have the most successful, wonderful life. And you're going to start to bless those pebbles in your shoe. Because you'll know every time you feel that niggle, you're going to go, do you know what? Time to make a small change. And when I make that small change, we're going to make success. And the thing is, I think, the more successes you get, the smaller those pebbles are. Because you start to make or have a habit of making right decisions. You have a habit of moving in the right direction. And guess what? It's that old thing I keep harping on about. When you do this, people will look at you and go, cool, aren't they lucky? It always seems to work out right for them. They're so lucky. Or it's so coincidental. They always get that. It's like serendipity. It just happens. Well, it's not luck. It's not, well, it is. It's everything about you. You've made that luck. You've made those coincidences and you're creating that serendipity. The universe, the multiverse is now tuned into you. And the thing is, when you tune into that, the multiverse, the universe, I believe, will bring you more joy, better results than you ever thought possible. And then your creative juices will be overflowing. And that's not really the nicest picture in the world. Don't know where they overflow, but you'll be able to tap into that creative set of ideas and create even more wonderful things to do. And then what I'd love is if then thinking of this generative field of learning, that you put all these experiences out into that generative field. So anybody can pick up on those ideas. They'll never leave you. You'll always have them, but you'll be sharing them. And as you share them, the whole world just gets better and better. There you go. My little meta thing for this, my little covert bit of to get me thinking about this was purely and simply, listen to your intuition and then act. It's not passive. It's got action. And then action with passion. Wow. And then, as long as we've got that wonderful love in the world, let's have a hug moment. But no, if you act with passion and love for other people to make them happy and make yourself happy at the same time, man, you can't not succeed. So, weird way, listen to the pebbles in your shoe. And then when you take that pebble out, you shake your shoe and you find that resolution, you can go, ooh, it's so comfortable now. Hey, have more fun than you can stand. And also, enjoy every heartbeat. And you never know, your unconscious mind, your best friend, may surprise you with giving you more happiness you can stand. For no reason whatsoever. Sometimes just being happy for no reason can be the wonderful little experience you can have, all given to you by your unconscious mind without you even knowing it until it happens. Yay! Hope you enjoyed all of that. I'm going to be around next time and I'll be bringing you more of the same. So I do hope you enjoy it. Enjoy. Bye-bye now. Hey, and just before you go, if you spare a moment, just a short reminder that, our friends don't always tell us how they're feeling. And it may be a great thing to do that just share this podcast, or if you know of a podcast which they would appreciate, it'd be really good. And if you really want to get every single episode of the PDU, Personal Development Unplugged podcast, just go to iTunes and subscribe. There's a subscribe button there and it'll come on your device with every new episode. And there's probably 2 a week. I've done 2 a week for a long time now. And if you're really feeling kind, if you feel that kind, you could just leave a review in that place where it says reviews, which is a good place to put a review. If you're interested in finding out a bit more what I do, maybe working or whatever, you can see all the type of things I do on my website, paulclough.co.uk. There's also paulcloughonline.com, where I do my personal development programs and hypnosis tracks, things that are not here. And if you really want to ask me a question, well, paul@paulclough.co.uk, that's my email. Okay, I look forward to hearing from you, seeing you, speaking with you, and enjoy your day. Have more fun than you can stand, wallow in happiness, and shine brightly. Bye-bye now. Personal development, unplugged.